What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Pick Six Podcast pregame show, or sweat show, I guess. We are currently watching the Miami Dolphins take a shot down the field. Tua Tagovailoa hitting Albert Wilson for a big play to potentially set up a, were they up 15-10? I could see run field goal here maybe, and then the Ravens have to go down the field and potentially take it to overtime, which would unfortunately make this pregame podcast a little bit longer than we intended. Or the Dolphins can punch here to win the game, which is really what they should do to be aggressive.
The Ravens are going to lose this game because Justin Tucker missed a field goal, so it's going to come down to, and Breech is going to cry and cry and cry.
Breech's prop was Justin Tucker over 7.5 points in this game.
It was not.
And he would be at 7 if he wouldn't have missed that field goal.
Still wouldn't have it.
Well, I mean, you're talking about overtime. Kickers win games in overtime. Sure. That's where they get the points, Brinson.
By the way, if you guys were listening to the podcast this afternoon for the Cam Newton, you would remember that I said that humidity would play a factor tonight.
I did say that. You were big on the humidity, Wilson. That was a great call.
You guys planned that. I threw out my fun fact that Miami Dolphins are 5-1 at home in November since 2018.
That was fun. At the time, it seemed stupid, but now it seems fun.
Worth noting, this is kind of the second consecutive letdown game for the Ravens. They,
I think they think it's week 9 when all the other teams played terribly, all the good teams.
Maybe so. Well, I mean, they had that Lamar ran 21 times against Minnesota, huge overtime win, big comeback, and they look like they're going to lose tonight.
They've already played 3 overtime games this year. This could possibly go to overtime. The Dolphins kick a field goal, like you were just saying. Yep. Every game they play is kind of nuts, except for that one blowout. I guess they had 2 blowouts with the Broncos and the Chargers, but every other game they've played has been bonkers.
Yeah, there are a lot of teams who just keep it really close in the NFL this year. I mean, that's
DM Gilmore 78 asked, who did I take tonight? I took the Ravens at 7.5. Or giving 7.5. I mean, I thought that was a layup.
Yeah, I did too.
I don't think anyone
when it jumped to 8.5 like this afternoon.
Kenny White, because he actually is a sharp. He actually took the Dolphins. I think it was up to 8.5. Is that what you said it was? Like
it moved. The line moved. I'm trying to think what we might be sweating here. The line moved it went off the board. I think it was Tua Brissett related, and then it came back up after having been at 7.5 to 8.5. So the Dolphins are running here 1st and 5. They can actually pick up a first down before they get into the end zone. You obviously have to run. John Harbaugh is wisely burning his timeouts here. That Albert Wilson call was really, really aggressive. I love it. I mean,
the question. I mean, this is one of the issues coming in. Red zone and third downs. The Ravens defense is really good. They are terrible at 20-plus yard plays. And no one covered Albert Wilson. So, I mean,
this play that just happened, this is always the touchy spot to use your timeout. Because you can't, so your timeout is theoretically supposed to save you 40 seconds because that's how long the play clock is. But since this happened at 2:35, the Ravens are only gaining 35 seconds. So it kind of cost them 5 seconds, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
No, it makes sense, but maybe that's
2:37. It's only going to cost them 3 seconds. It's
right.
not as bad.
So I think that's okay.
It was at 2:35. They just reset it to 2:37.
Yeah, but it's also like I think you always want to call them before the 2-minute warning, not after.
Yeah, but you don't want to call it a 2:05. I think is what Breech is saying.
The closer you get to 2 minutes from 2:40, once you hit the 2:40 mark, the closer you get to 2 minutes, the less sense it makes to use it.
For sure. And it also depends on situationally. Like now you make it's 2nd and 4 because you got a penalty and you stopped them on a 1-yard run. You're going to make them Miami. A pass here would be pretty aggressive by Miami. I think
a pass here would be hilarious.
I mean,
with Tua.
I
don't know if you guys are heavy.
Overholder. That's a false start. Wow, that is enormous. That is really bad. That's a couple false starts by Miami. Miami could have this locked up by now. Yeah, the guy, they had the touchdown pass to the offensive lineman. Was that
Robert Hunt? No, it was not. He was ineligible, and he knew he was ineligible, but he made the play to show off.
Well, you know what's funny is I thought for a second that maybe because there was like all that chaos right there where he caught it, that maybe like it hit a Ravens defender on the shoulder first, like on the finger.
I thought the play was designed to go to him. The way he was playing, he was running with such confidence. And
by the way, we're
oh gosh, what a great run!
Short.
That's fine though. You just run it one more time.
God.
We are giving away a hat on this podcast, Brinson Sucks hat. So drop your name in the comments. on YouTube. Hit the like button too. We got to get to a certain number of likes. We'll figure out what it is once we get a little bit deeper in there.
During this timeout, if this goes to 4th and 1, do you kick the field goal or do you go for it?
Oh,
you kick the field goal.
Okay, I think
you go up 8.
Yeah.
The Ravens are going to score and convert the 2. I would go for it, but I mean, I don't think.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if the Ravens would have gotten downfield that last drive if they didn't get 2 roughing the passer penalties. One, which was on the classic list of what the hell was the NFL doing with these roughing the passer penalties. I mean, one was legit because Lamar got body slammed to the other ground. The other one, he got touched by like a feather. And they're like, oh, there's a flag. You're flagged.
Yeah, that second one was egregious. Even the Chicago Bears thought that was a terrible call.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
By the way, that Robert Hunt touchdown, and our buddy Danny Kelly mentioned this on Twitter, even though it wasn't legal, how would the official on the sideline not rule that a touchdown? He was clearly in the end zone.
Terrible miss. Horrible miss by the official. He's like, clear.
The Dolphins should have challenged it and said, we just want you to rule it a touchdown and then call it back with the penalty.
One more run here. He's in.
He's a touchdown. Game
That's
over.
A touchdown.
Oh, my
They
God.
rolled him short. Are you kidding me?
What are
That's
you
even
doing?
better. It's game over. I mean,
Well, it's not game over. They have one time out.
One time out.
Yeah.
2 minutes. You can take it
can't
down.
be out. You have to run a play.
Why
And
is
the
he-
Ravens will let him score, I think.
Where is he?
Oh, he's down. He's short. Yeah.
Oh, he's down my line. Okay, good job, Mr. Official. I saw Eichenberg score. By the way, Eichenberg having a tough season as left tackle, when whatever that happens for rookies. He is leading the league in saving fumble recoveries by your quarterback. He had 2 big ones tonight.
Oh my God. Patrick Queen trying to scoop that instead of just falling on it. I get it. The ball, like you're not expecting.
That's a great play by Eichenberg. That team had scored 3 points at that point. Queen's trying to turn things around because the offense wasn't playing well.
All right, so there's 2:24 left. The Ravens called their final timeout. They're going to run it once, take it to the 2-minute warning. I really don't think you need. I think you just score.
Yeah,
if they did just run up the middle and not score at all,
they put 2 is in there. Okay, not percent.
They would take it down to about 35 seconds if they just ran the ball straight the middle 3 times and did not score a touchdown.
And you go for it on 4th down. Would you punt if you were down there?
No. I would kick the field goal, and then the Ravens would have 30 seconds to get downfield with no time.
I would go for it again on 4th and 1. Just try to score this score.
QB
That's a wrap.
That's that. Look, you take the points. I mean, it is. Oh boy, this is like it's going to come down to, even if you give up a touchdown, you're going to have to just hold off.
What are you talking about? This game's over.
No. But I mean, yes, more than likely. I mean, 99%. But like, there's an onside kick that could potentially or likely come into play here.
After they got to score first.
Okay. I mean, yes, I
okay. Well, I'm not like. Are you just trying to manufacture drama? Like, what do you think?
I feel like right now, if you're the Ravens,
I'm discussing like whether.
Well, you're hoping Jason Sanders misses his extra point because then you just need a touchdown and a field goal instead of 2 touchdowns.
Right. Striped it.
No. My point was simply that, I mean, the Ravens are going to get the. And by the way, you should pooch this. You pooch this, right, and run clock so you get it closer. I guess it doesn't matter either way.
It doesn't matter.
No, I mean, look, it's unlikely that the Ravens are going to even have a chance to be in this game, but. The debate is, do you try to run more clock or just get the points? And that's what I was saying. I have no problem just take the points, and you're up 2 scores with the Ravens having no timeouts, and it would require them to get an onside kick in order to come back. Whereas if you ran 3 times and kicked a field goal, you'd be up 8 with 30. I would rather be where the Dolphins are now than up 8 with 35 seconds left and giving the Ravens the ball back. Don't you agree with that?
Agreed.
I'm doing the math. Breech, are the Steelers going to be in first place if the Ravens lose this game? Is that right?
If the Steelers don't count your chickens for the hatch. The Steelers have to win on Sunday, Ryan.
They'll be sorry, right? They'll be 6-3, so they'll still
beat the Lions.
They'll be still a half game up.
Sounds like Breech has already done the math.
Well, I was looking at how the Bengals are on a bye. They'll be 1 game out of first place.
I thought the Ravens were 5-2. They're 6-2.
This really makes the AFC North race crazy. I mean,
wide ass open, to quote Bruce Arians.
By the way, our buddy Doge Jesus, Doge Jesus, although it appears to be a different handle this time. If you've already won a Brinson Sucks hat, and there's only like 20 of them in the world, or 25 of them in the world. So maybe
for now,
one is probably enough. I'm trying to get Brady Quinn says he's getting if they go somewhere cold for the Fox Big Sunday, he might wear a toboggan on his head for
Yikes.
for the Fox pregame show.
Yeah.
Big Sunday?
For the what?
For the Big Sunday?
Big Saturday.
Gotcha.
Right?
Yeah, you said Sunday. I got a little.
Here's the I mean, I don't know anymore, man. Like, I was texting with Nick Costas earlier, or he was on this thread with like Prisco and Jamie, and he's like, you know what? He's like, media members need bye weeks, and I agree. So that's let's hypothetically we all get bye weeks. Well, what week would you want your bye week to be in as a someone who covers the NFL?
You know what I'm going to say? I'm grinding it out.
No buys. No days off, Brinson. No
I
days off.
I said week
No
2
days
right
off.
now. Give me my bye right now.
No days off. You know what's crazy is after week 8, NFL teams that were favored by 7 or more points were 31-0 straight up on the season.
And now they're like 31-31 or something.
Starting in week 9, this is the 11th time since week 9, and this will be the 5th loss. So they're 6-5. They went from 31-0 and now 6-5.
This game is dragging on too for very few points.
Yeah, it's almost midnight, and that's probably because of all those incomplete passes Jacoby Brissett threw in the first half.
Well, I mean, the thing that the Dolphins did is basically run a ton of cover 0 against Lamar, and he threw a ton of incompletions.
Well, and I wonder if teams basically they act like they're going to blitz everyone on every play, and then sometimes they drop people back in cut. Like Lamar looked like he had no idea what to do, and also he's not getting help from his receivers who are dropping passes left and right. I mean, this is the Ravens' offense has looked amazingly bad.
Bateman is having a game, man.
By the way, I mean, Sammy Watkins comes back and he has a fumble in the second half. In the first half, he doesn't catch a touchdown. So he ain't helping either.
I mean, Sammy's benched, I think, at this point. Bateman's just better. I need a Hollywood Brown touchdown to make some
Was that I know
Yeah,
this is
cash.
ridiculous because they're down 2 scores, but he did not get out of bounds there? Is that really what happened?
maybe
No,
a
he's
rookie
out.
mistake. I mean, I think
I don't
He's
think
out.
he got out.
I
No,
thought he did.
the Ravens
just
just had to
spike
spike it because
Oh, I thought he was rolling around outside the.
I thought it wasn't even
No.
close that he got out.
Jacob points out the Dolphins D is just daring him to beat them. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. But I mean, look, Lamar played awful in this game. Clearly feeling the effects of last week. I put a lot of this on Greg Roman in the game.
No, he's feeling the effects of humidity.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he is. Joe Buck was emphasizing humidity. I'm just saying that humidity will get you.
Oh,
Oh, he stayed in bounds
bounds,
too.
guy.
Again, get out of bounds.
Spike it again. I think you do have to spike it again. No,
It doesn't matter. I mean, the game's over.
you can't spike
spike
them
it.
down.
You can. I mean, that's
You,
something.
you physically can. You can spike on 4th down if you want. I mean, it's
What if
Not a
Harbaugh
converge.
kicks the field goal so they lose by single digits?
is it okay? If I better not lose my Sammy. Is Sammy Watkins even out there?
You said he gets
I mean,
benched.
No, I'm saying he should be benched at this point.
Oh,
Do you want him out there?
I
Sammy
have
Watkins has one.
I have Sammy Watkins under receiving yards.
He has one catch for 7 yards.
All right.
Did,
So
did-
how much money are we betting on the Dolphins to make the playoffs?
I'm betting 50 cents.
Everything.
Oh my god, I cannot believe is this Devontae Freeman rushing yard under going to get home somehow 45.5?
Why would he run again? Where what's he at?
I mean, he was at 30 rushing yards early in the second quarter. I think.
It's at 35 now.
He was at Freeman was at 32 yards at halftime.
Wow. Yeah, I mean that's crazy. I got that under the Sammy Watkins under. I need Hollywood Brown. I need no more Mark Andrew. Oh, that's a good job getting out of bounds. I mean, like I said, there's a decent chance they at least have to sweat an onside kick.
Yeah, I guess. But I mean, they still got to score from there, score a touchdown.
I mean, well, they're at the Miami 7.
No, they have to score another touchdown after this.
Yeah, but I mean, if they score on this play, I mean, look, onside kicks are hard. How about a Marquise Brown touchdown, please? I think I bet Andrews anytime touchdown.
Oh my God, Sammy Watkins caught a touchdown pass.
I mean, you're just lying. You're just way behind. Why are you throwing that there? Oh my
Oh
gosh.
gosh.
I mean, Freeman had no business catching that.
He didn't.
He gave the same amount of effort as Watkins did on that first quarter
Right. I mean, what you
throw. I mean, what are you
When
doing?
Watkins went gator arms on that throw, that's when we should have known.
He didn't even go gator arms. He just quit running.
Yeah,
When Justin Tucker missed that field goal, I knew this was going to be a crazy night. The man doesn't miss field goals.
yeah,
I think things are going so crazy. Sammy Watkins makes that field goal, and Justin Tucker catches that touchdown.
Marquise Brown has 37 yards on 6 catches and 13 targets. What the hell? What a
Those
weird
are
game.
those are good numbers.
Yeah, that is Miz. I have his over on receiving yards too. That's rather unfortunate.
Oh boy.
Lamar.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. Did he catch it? No, he didn't catch it. I thought Mark Andrews came up with it. Did Mark Andrews catch that 14-yard pass that they overturned as incomplete? That bobbled around?
I don't know how they I feel like you had to stick with the call on the field there.
Dino points out, Andrews anytime TD and over on receptions hits. Let me see how. Obviously, our first TD props didn't work out very well.
Yeah, I had a Lamar. Duh.
I mean, it's Dolphins defense. What are you gonna do? I mean, it happened in the second half. I mean,
Even Miles Gaskins over receiving yards didn't happen. It would have happened except they called him back because of holding. He's stuck at 14. I need 7.5 from him. Maybe he'll get it on this play.
well, you got 2 chances here.
Oh boy. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy.
Oh,
no!
Lamar, miserable. What are you doing?
Wow.
No, he had to throw it.
Can't
in the
throw.
end zone.
He got 4th down. Throw it away.
Well, I mean, you act like that was the game-winning touchdown. They weren't going to win. I think he was.
I mean,
Just trying
yeah. I mean,
you got to make something happen. I don't hate. I mean, it's not the end of the
bro,
world.
you got to throw it away. Throw it away. That's terrible.
I mean, you at least have a chance to win if you score there.
Good for you. Good for you.
Uh,
That's a terrible pass.
it's not a great pass, but I mean, 43
I think
seconds
we've been
left.
doing pretty good on these props on the primetime stuff. Am I wrong? I mean, my picks against the spread have been Miz, but whatever. And
I'm
this
one of-
month well, October is just a miserable month.
I'm 1-4 against the spread the last 5 weeks on Thursday night. Still number 1 overall, the top sharp in the country.
In the country.
As you
Are
guys
you
are
really the
rolling.
top guy in the country?
Wilson,
put it-
how are
put it
you
in
not
Slack.
charging? How are you not charging for your picks? You can't be giving this stuff away for free.
I don't know. I'm just.
Oh my God.
We need
my
to put
first
your
thing.
picks behind a paywall, but everybody else not.
I think Lamar's passing prop closed at 239.5. He had 238.
Oh my God. That is nuts.
Yep. Over pass touchdowns, that loses. So Ahmed over rush yards loses. Andrews anytime touchdown hits. Lamar over pass yards. We actually had it at 232.5 on the pod, so that actually hits, I think. But yeah, not a
What a win.
woof, not a great game for your boy.
It's a great game for Brian Flores.
Yeah, huge win for the Dolphins.
I have more questions about the Dolphins than the Raiders. The Ravens, excuse me.
You have more questions about the Dolphins and the Ravens?
I mean, the Dolphins played so terrible this year, and then they play a game like that. Like,
I mean, the Jaguars beat the Bills. Football's weird. Let's see what I had Lamar at on pass yards. That is gonna suck. Of course. 239.5, naturally. All right. Well, we're gonna fire up the podcast. Fun.
I was laughing at the comment there. I should put sharp on my tattoo.
Oh.
C-Rad.
Maybe by the time that this gets done, you just go and get 2021 ATS champ on your right shoulder or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna take this into my own hands because Breech is.
I mean, Breech, this is getting out of control, buddy.
Brent, I thought you offered to do the drawing.
So we had somebody a podcast listener sent you drawings.
They tweeted them.
That counts as sending in 2021. Numbnuts.
Yeah, I know. They sent them to Ryan too.
Do I have to do everything?
Put the drawing on your arm. It's made. It's already done, Ryan.
You're an idiot.
Okay, let's do the podcast.
Oh my goodness.
Leave your handle in the. Well, I'll mention it when we start. All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Pick Six Podcast, CBS Sports Daily NFL Podcast. I'm Brinson. I'm your host. It is still Thursday, November 11th. Will soon be Friday, November 12th. This is your Ravens-Dolphins recap. The Ravens were really the only team that escaped the insanity of Week 9. Not so fast, my friend. The week starts on Sunday, the real life week, and the Ravens got on Thursday, losing 22-10 to the Miami Dolphins in what can best be described as South Florida with pleasant conditions, weather-wise. Joining me to break it down, Ryan Wilson and John Breech. What's up, boys?
Breech, I'm sure you're well aware the Steelers are that much closer to being first place in the AFC North.
And I'm sure you are well aware that the whole AFC North is now only separated by one game.
You can watch this podcast on YouTube. We are giving away a Brinson Sucks hat on the YouTube channel. Leave your handle in the chat if you want to try and win a Brinson Sucks hat or toboggan, depending on where you live. It's your choice, and Ryan Wilson or Debo will mail them to you. You can watch us on YouTube. If you're in YouTube, hit the like button. Smash that like button. Make sure and subscribe. Hit the alarm next to it. You'll get notifications. We go live every Monday, Thursday, or every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday, recapping the primetime games. And we have a 1 p.m. usually, unless Prisco's not being a diva, a 1 p.m. Thursday show where we do picks for the week. And then Ryan Wilson bust out a 1 p.m. Tuesday mock draft show. Breech, if you're going to yawn, mute your effing microphone, please.
Oh, you could hear that? I was choking, Brinson. My God.
Having
man can't choke in peace. Good Lord.
M. Jones says, if you didn't hassle people so much, they would like more. I wholly disagree.
I don't.
You're like everybody just knows to like. Is that right?
Breech said, I don't.
Breech is so lazy. My God. Yeah, that's true.
That's not true.
Breech barely puts on shirts most of the time.
That's true.
He was eating a Reese's peanut butter cup on the podcast.
That's because I don't own any shirts.
As close to the microphone as possible.
I wear borrowed clothes.
Anyway, let's get to the recap. 22-10 Dolphins over the Ravens. The Dolphins are now 3-7.
Yep.
I hate that the NFL site doesn't update that immediately. And the Ravens fall to 6-3.
NFL Jesus updates immediately. It's updated.
It's not updated for me. At any rate, the Ravens 6-3. The Steelers have an opportunity to leap up into first place or move into a tie for first place, I guess.
If they beat the Lions.
If they can just beat the Lions on Sunday. And this is a huge loss for both for the Steelers, for everyone else in the AFC North, basically. If you're a Bengals fan, you love this loss. I know, Breech, you're not cheering it. If you're a Steelers
I'm cheering. I am cheering. Look at me. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm absolutely cheering. This is
the last place Bengals fan is cheering.
Second place. Just kidding. Third place. Just kidding. Last place.
Yeah. And look, man, I don't think the Dolphins were great in this game.
I thought they were really good.
I thought the defense played really well.
This is a terrible football team. I mean, I was talking about on HQ with you on Wednesday. Is this the worst team of the AFC?
If I told you that both Tua Tagovailoa and Jacoby Brissett played in this game, that neither went over 160 passing yards, that Myles Gaskin was the leading rusher with 31 yards, and that Albert Wilson led the team in receiving with 87 yards, and that Mike Gesicki didn't have a single catch, would you say, wow, the Dolphins won?
Wait, do you also tell me that Brian Flores decided to start the worst quarterback on his roster and keep the better guy on the bench for some reason, somehow backed his way into one of the biggest upsets of the season?
Straight up, you know what I would say? I would say I bet the Dolphins won 22-10. What happened? How did it work out?
Did I say AFC North or NFC North? I thought I said AFC.
I don't know. We can check the tape later.
That's at least your words.
The concern, for sure. I got a million more worries. The problems for the Ravens were myriad. They were awful on offense. They weren't necessarily bad on defense. I mean, this game was just sloppy between two offenses that didn't have it. But I mean, Lamar Jackson, 9 carries. Oh man, that prop.
80% humidity will kill you.
39 rushing yards. Devontae Freeman, 10 carries, 35 yards. Lamar, 26 of 43 for 238, a touchdown and a pick. Marquise Brown did not have the blow-up game that we thought he would. 13 targets, 6 catches, 37 yards. What a bizarre stat line. And Rashad Bateman actually but had a pretty good game. He finished with 6 catches, 80 yards, a couple of those in garbage time to really boost up the stat numbers. Sammy Watkins, Ms. game, one catch, 7 yards, had a big touchdown drop, a non-catch early in the first half, and then a massive fumble that actually led to the first touchdown by the Dolphins defense and Xavier Howard, who scooped it up and took it to the house. The Ravens no-showed the game, and that's their second no-show of the year following a big win.
What was the other no-show?
against the Bengals, and they got absolutely blistered.
Oh, right, yeah.
They beat the
That's right.
Chargers, no-showed the Bengals game, then came back last week, found a miracle win over the Vikings, and no-showed this short week game in Miami.
They should have lost the Vikings game, except the Vikings it up at the end there.
I mean, honestly, they could be
And
on
they were trailing 22-3 to the Colts before the Chargers game and won that in overtime. You could argue they should have lost. So this is a 6-2 team that could easily be, or 6-3 team that could easily be 4-5 or 3-6.
I mean, I think they're better when I'm not going to be look, really bad loss. I'm not going to freak out too much about the Ravens. If you look at the AFC as a whole, we've seen this kind of act from everybody. The Titans have lost to the Jets. The Chiefs are 5-4, but have looked awful all year. The Bills just lost 9-6 to the Jaguars. And then, the Ravens go down to Miami where they've had a ton of success and pulled this off.
Well, I'll just say this. The Steelers just beat the Bears and they beat the Bills in week 1. They might be going to the Super Bowl.
The who?
The Steelers.
Possibly.
The thing about the Titans is, and this is no really excuse, you lost to the Jets, but they had both the receivers out at the time. Now they're down. Derrick Henry had that huge win in L.A. against the Rams. I think they're the best team now, but again, next week they could lose 46-3, and we'll have to have another conversation. The funny thing about the Bills, we've been giving Josh Allen a pass because he played so well last year and played so well to start. He's played okay to start the season. He's leveled out. He's been sort of replacement level if you look at the advanced stats. And that has to be a concern because they have some other issues there. Maybe the Chargers are primed to make a move here. They haven't gotten their doors blown off. They've had some wins
except by the Ravens, which we just mentioned.
What was that score?
34-6.
Oh, okay. That is a blowout. That was in Baltimore, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So they've had their blowout too. All right. Well, to your point, Brinson, everyone's in this pot together. The Steelers, the Raiders, and the Patriots, I don't think they have a legitimate shot to make a deep run in the playoffs should they be so lucky to get there. But again, maybe this is great news for the Chiefs. Maybe if they can figure out a way to get their act together, maybe they can make some noise in January.
Maybe. I still think Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson had a shot here to go down to South Florida, light up the Dolphins defense. And, frankly, with him playing cover 0 all night and just sending the house, Greg Roman's had no game plan for this. They had no adjustment at halftime, which was shocking. They had no cover 0 beaters in their wheelhouse at all. Like, just put Rashad Bateman in the slot, have him run a short out, and have Marquise Brown run vertical routes.
But the problem was they did have it a couple times, not very often, but like it would be a swing pass out to the running back who wouldn't gain any yards. He got pushed out of bounds. There was one that Marquise Brown that went through his hands.
Those screens were terrible.
I'm saying that everything they did try didn't work.
Those were not cover 0 beaters. Like, they were bad play calls.
They had a bunch of quick plays to beat the blitz because the Dolphins were just sending people, and nothing they did worked. And it was almost like their plan was to make Lamar Jackson just think like, you don't have time to think. You just got to get rid of the ball, because if he has time to think, he might start running around. He takes off 40-yard touchdown. So, defensively, this was a masterpiece by the Dolphins.
Yeah, it was a really good plan by the Dolphins. Lamar Jackson had really, for the first, 7 games for this is now they've had their bye. No, they haven't had their bye because they had their bye between the Browns games. For the first, except for last week, is what I'm trying to say. Lamar Jackson had averaged 11 rushing attempts per game. Last week, he had 21 for 120 yards. It was definitely an approach that the Ravens want to take where they didn't run him because they were not using a bunch of design runs. I think he probably beat up. The field was disgusting down in the Dolphin Stadium, in Sun Life Stadium, or whatever the hell it is now. There's a humidity caused the grass to get wet. Sure. And he didn't have very good footing. The Dolphins were sending blitzers. The routes were too deep developing, and he just was, the ball was coming out funny, looked slippery. Just a poor game from Lamar, poor game from Greg Roman, an atrocious game from the offensive line for the Ravens. And, one of those things where you go down there and let the Dolphins have an opportunity to take the game, and they did. That's sort of how I view that. But again, like I'm not going to freak out about it if only because we've seen virtually every AFC team and really every team in the NFL lay a clunker at some point this year.
But as Breech has noted, the Ravens have laid a lot of clunkers. They've just gotten fortunate in a few of those things. They're playing some pretty bad football. So I would imagine John Harbaugh isn't willing to give this team a pass, and I would imagine he's very concerned about how they're playing over the last month or so because, as Breech noted, they could be a 3 or 4 win team. So, we aren't really giving Miami their due. Breech, let me ask you this. Here are the next 4 games for the Dolphins. They're currently 3-7. You tell me their record after these 4 games. At the Jets, then they play the Cam Newton Panthers at home, play the Daniel Jones Giants at home by a week, and then they host the Jets again.
Oh, my God. They could win all 4 of those. And the thing is, like, the reason most people thought the Dolphins would probably win 8 or 9 games this year, and it was because their defense is good. And I feel like they did the same thing to Jared Goff last year, except he's not mobile at all. I think he had like 4 turnovers, and they upset the Rams 28-17. And that was also in November, mind you. And so I think a lot of people thought they were going to be good this year because their defense was going to be good, and their defense was just so pitiful through the first few weeks of the season. But I guess everybody's healthy now because they go out, they held the Texans 9 points Sunday, and it was like, it's the Texans. That's really not that impressive. And then watching them do this, it really makes you feel like I think they could win all 4 of those games. And I honestly would probably pick them to win all 4 of those games. Maybe not the Panthers a little bit closer, but if they do, they're 7-7. And if they're 7-7, you're in the thick of the playoff race.
So you're picking the Dolphins to rip off 4 more wins
against the Jets, the Panthers, the Giants, and the Jets. Those are the next 4 games.
Is that crazy?
I mean, it's not crazy, but the Dolphins aren't good either.
What do you think? Well, that's what I was going to say, though, too. I don't think they're not an automatic win anymore. They've won 2 games in a row.
That's true. I mean, the three of those games are in Miami, where the humidity will be a factor.
Exactly.
You make fun of the humidity, but everybody looked a little tired.
I mean, I think a split is more likely than. Look, it's a really good stretch. Don't get me wrong. Really, Jets, Panthers, Giants, Jets is
you can't dial up
with
a crappier
with a bye in there.
You can't dial up a crappier list of teams to play if you're trying to get back into the conversation.
It's fair. That's probably fair. They have the Saints, Titans on the road, and then Patriots at home to close out the season. So, I mean, does 7-7 even? It definitely gets you in the conversation. I don't disagree with that, but
7-10 means Brian Flores is coming back and he can quit having to worry about answering questions.
And you don't have to give away a top 5 pick at 7-10 either, which is.
I was gonna say that's the worst part of the night for me is like I've given up hope on a top 3 pick.
Yeah, that's probably fair. I really do think it's more likely to go 2-2. I mean, that wasn't a good football team.
They just beat the Ravens.
So, what's weird though is that keep going. Because I was going to go back to Baltimore real quick, and we're talking about the Dolphins.
I mean, look, now the other thing, too, is the Giants, the Panthers, and the Jets all have really terrible offensive lines. Maybe the Dolphins come out and just blitzkrieg cover 0 at all 3 of those teams, and the quarterbacks cough it up. They'll have to play Cam Newton, I guess, and maybe the legend Mike White. Legend Mike White. Look, man, maybe they win all 4 and they get to 7-7. I still don't think they're going to the playoffs by any stretch of the imagination, but
no one said that.
But you can definitely avoid everyone getting fired by winning the next 4 games.
Yeah.
Who starts next week for the Dolphins?
Tua.
If he's healthy, I would imagine.
I would agree. Why didn't he start tonight if he could play?
Who knows?
Why did
he bench Ryan Fitzpatrick last year, Brian Flores, when they started 3-3? Who knows?
If there was no quarterback in football, I think Brian Flores maybe could be a good coach.
He's like Sean McDermott with Nate Peterman back in the day. Just didn't make any sense.
It's like it seems like Tua, watching this team play this season, that Tua is clearly the better quarterback. And even, we saw in that deep throw he had, I don't remember who it was to.
Jalen Waddle.
To Waddle, and it looked like Tua was almost iffy, like, oh man, I don't know if I can get the ball that far. Maybe that's why, because they didn't think he could make the deep throw. Not that you're going to be making a ton of those against the Ravens, because that thing floated up there, and he put everything he had into it. It was only about 40 yards in the air.
Hey, hit that like button. We're trying to give away a Brinson Sucks hat in in the chat. Oh God, look at me! Look how young.
By the way, I love that Breech is dunking on Tua for only being being able to throw the ball 40 yards because Breech has self-proclaimed being able to throw the ball 40 yards in the air as well.
Right.
It's true.
It's insane. Yeah. Like you think Tua's like a professional athlete who's done played quarterback his whole life
With a broken finger.
Yeah. And right. You're not throwing anyway. We're off that tangent.
What I was going to say about the Ravens, though, is one of the reasons it was surprising their offense was so bad is because their first two possessions, they moved the ball. I mean, they got quickly in the Dolphins territory both times, ended up settling for field goals. But I mean, they did not have any issues getting just moving the ball down the field. And then after those two field goal attempts, it was punt, 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 Sammy Watkins fumble. It was kind of weird that they looked good and then just fell off a cliff.
Indeed. You know what? Sometimes you spend 18 months locked inside during a pandemic and your fashion falls off a cliff. Happens to a lot of us, and that's okay. What do you need? You need Indochino. Now, you can be two types of people. You can be a Ryan Wilson, an outgoing, vivacious personality who loves spending time with other humans in intimate settings where they're measuring him, etc. for clothes. If you're that type of person, an extrovert, you can go to Nordstrom's, your local Nordstrom's, and get some Indochino in your life. Or if you're like me and you're a recluse and you don't like to leave your house and you don't want to see people or interact with other humans, you can go to Indochino.com and you can order. You can have you have a custom suit tailored for you online by using their simple, easy to use website. It's incredible. You basically measure things you didn't even know you had to measure for custom suits, because it's not just, all right, let's check check your neck size and check your weight, chest size, and we'll get you a shirt out there and get you a suit. No. They do everything. Things you shoulders, hips. I was going to name a bunch of body parts, but you get the point. You go in there, it's very simple. And it's surprisingly simple how quickly you can get all those things inputted in and get a custom suit or custom shirt sent your way. And you will save even more on Indochino.com or using promo code PICK6 as they run this incredible Black Friday sale that is currently underway. If maybe there's somebody in your life who needs some clothes, or maybe you need some new clothes, get away from video calls and get back into looking and feeling amazing. Indochino's Black Friday event runs from November 8th. So we're in the middle of this thing to November 29th. Save even more and get $50 off any purchase of $3.99 or more by using promo code PICK6, PICKSIX at Indochino.com. That's a $50 off a purchase of $3.99 or more at INDOCHINO, Indochino.com. Promo code PICK6. Feeling good.
I want to show some responses for this question because we've tossed it around.
Breech is how far can Breech throw a football? 23 yards, 12 and a half
yards under. 25 yards.
25 is probably about right.
22 yards.
Breech thinks he can throw it 40.
Jeremy Clark.
I'll take that one.
By the way, Jeremy's the one who did the drawing for you, Breech, that you've yet to act on.
You made the drawing, put it on your body, and have Jeremy put a signature.
26.2 miles. Also, the length of Breech's infamous marathon. That's a good one. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. I'll take that. Thanks, Clarence.
39.5. Pick the under on that.
Take the under, yeah.
So just for comparison's sake, Debo, you said you and your brother went out to the field not too long ago. How far did you throw the football?
I threw it 39 yards. I'm not claiming, there's no chance I'm claiming 40 right now, but I'm in the gym working to get to that point.
So there's no way Breech, who's 10 years older than you, can throw the ball 5 yards farther than you.
But with much more football experience.
What
Breech
are you talking about?
Yeah, you're number one. You're
a football player. I've got football experience.
You're a foot shorter than Debo and 10 years older. I don't understand what math you're doing.
Debo, do you think I can throw football 40 yards?
I had questions because I thought I could not easily reach it, but I thought I would get there, and I was disappointed in myself. But I think you're right around there. I don't think you're throwing it like 31, but 40's up for debate, I would say.
So, Breech, did you hear how far Debo's brother threw it?
57.
Are you guessing, or is that what you heard?
That's a guess. I have no idea.
What was it, 55, Debo?
57.
Oh, it was 57? Way to
Yeah,
go.
he told us on this podcast before. It's like Breech knew what the number was.
No, I don't. I honestly had no idea. I knew it was further than Debo because Debo. I remember him saying he didn't hit 40.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
so
that's-
also, like, are we talking? Do you get multiple crow hops, running start? Like, what's
Yeah, he can.
It's a
he
throw.
can
You
start.
do whatever you want. I can
Yeah,
throw
he
like
can
a
start-
shot put if I want.
He
He
can
can
start in
run
the tunnel.
50 yards. He could start
Yeah.
at the opposite end zone and run up to the.
He can throw it
I'd be
from a,
too tired to throw it if I did that.
You can throw it from a golf cart, just floor to the golf cart, and throw it from the back of the golf. You can do
I
whatever
could
you want
use
to.
forward momentum to my advantage.
what kind of football were you using, Debo?
The official full-size football. I wanted to make sure it was the real deal.
Regulation NFL football?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Man,
Yeah,
55
Breech.
is-
Unless Breech has Drew Brees' hand size, there's no way he has the hands to even hold the football.
Right. Like, I envision this ball slipping out. It's like a safety, like for when Breech is throwing from his own end zone. So
Right.
he's like throws, flies out the backside.
This is laughable.
I look forward to it. Hey, hopefully we'll be together soon at some point. Maybe they'll make
Hey,
you go.
look, Breech, film yourself anytime, Uncle Rico. Let's see what you do.
I thought this was. I wanted to bring this up on the All Things Covered podcast this week.
Yeah, bring it up.
We featured John Smoltz as the guest, and he told us that he
My
could
favorite
throw.
athlete of all time.
Take a listen. That in his heyday, before Tommy John surgery and before a couple surgeries, he said he could throw a football between, he said, 60 and 80 yards, which I can believe, but that's just a very wide gap to say between 60 yards and 80 yards. There's a huge difference between throwing 60, still super impressive, and then throwing 80, which is like borderline world record territory, depending on the elevation you're at.
Maybe 80 was when he's with the Tigers before he got traded, and then 60 was towards the end of his career when he was 40 years old, still playing. Still 20.
Wait, you got the
Still
Tigers.
20 to 60
Tigers are
yards farther
very
than
early
John
in his
Breech.
career.
I couldn't know when her was said because you kept interrupting, but go ahead. Sorry. By the way, you
mean,
mentioned Uncle Rico. You know Uncle Rico was in White Lotus?
I don't think I realized that. What character was he?
That's the thing. He seems like he would be the guy running the hotel because he looks sort of like Uncle Rico, but that guy I think is South African. I might be wrong. He's not American.
He's not American for sure. Who?
Uncle Rico was the guy who was hooking up with Stifler's mom for a bit. He was the guy who was sick.
Are you serious?
Man, that movie came out a long time ago.
God.
So yeah, that was a fun little fact.
You just sent me into a tailspin here.
I know. I was expecting it to be. I said, "There's no way it's the guy who."
John Grease is Uncle Rico?
Yeah, look at that.
Holy bleep. Man, I would you could have
Lined up a million people, and he would have been the very last person you would have guessed.
I would not have guessed Uncle Rico.
He's still in great shape, but he looks nothing like Uncle Rico. The mustache is gone, and so he's got the Wilson haircut now.
Wow. Man,
There's your fun job. That was Uncle Rico. You got it. Top that fun fact, Breech.
can't.
I've got a fun fact. That was the fewest points that the Ravens have ever put up in Lamar Jackson's career since he became a starter.
Wilson, unfortunately, Wilson's fun fact was so good that you didn't top it, but that was a pretty good fun fact.
Thank you.
So
Take it. You
All
can't
right.
top what Wilson gave us. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I can't.
hit the old like button, folks. Hit the like button. We're trying to give away one of these Brinson Sucks hats. We will find somebody. I think
We
we're
need 20 more.
20 more likes to get a Brinson Sucks hat given away in the chat. I'm like too shook by this Uncle Rico fact. to really
It was
even-
crazy. I was sort of surprised to see because I saw it somewhere that he was in it, and I was surprised to see that too. It popped up because I had no guesses. By the way, Javon Holland, look, people have been, and myself included, been giving the Dolphins a hard time for their draft picks the last few years because mostly have been taking offensive linemen who haven't panned out. Shout out to Robert Hunt for being the best running back on the field on Thursday night, and Liam Eichenberg for recovering those 2 fumbles. But Javon Holland has been absolutely amazeballs, as the kids like to say, flying all over the field. Did he have an interception? He had some pass breakups. He had some great tackles. He blitzed. Next Gen Stats had him blitzing more tonight than any. Let's see if I can find it.
Any other linebacker? I believe it.
So Dolphins safeties Javon Holland and Brandon Jones blitz more times tonight against the Ravens than any other defensive back in any game this season. So not just against the Ravens. So as you pointed out, Brinson, they just kept coming, and there were no answers from Greg Roman.
What about the answer that Sammy Watkins didn't have? Was he the go to the game?
No, I'm giving it
Yeah.
to Justin Tucker because they would have won if he kicked that field goal because
If
momentum
he
would have.
made a field goal in the first quarter, they would have won.
He would have built momentum. Look, if your best player is not there mentally, you sort of just give up. If you're the
Are you
rest
saying
of the team.
Justin Tucker is better than Lamar Jackson? I just need you on record saying that.
He was doing that. I mean,
No, I don't want to say it because then Debo put up that Tar Heels win thing if I say that about Justin Tucker.
hey, Tar Heels eliminated. Go Tar Heels. Go Tar Heels eliminated from winning the Coastal tonight. Let's go. I did my part. I bet on the Carolina money line just to make sure that they wouldn't win, and they didn't.
I mean, what Sammy did though, he had the stop in the end zone where Lamar he was getting blitzed. He threw a ball up, and Sammy had at least a chance at it, and he just stopped walking in the end zone. He just stopped running his route.
What if he lost the ball in the lights? Are you buying that or not?
I mean, I am not buying it. I'm just not buying it. I'm not buying it. It just because it looked like he came to a full. When you lose the ball in the lights, you have that look of confusion. You're looking back and
he looked confused.
He looked confused about the fact that he didn't get injured on the route. That's why he was confused because he's injured all the time.
All right.
No, I mean, it didn't look like. Maybe he did. It's possible. No one else lost a single ball in the lights all night, so maybe he had the only one that got lost in the lights. I'm saying I don't think he lost in the lights. Brinson making that face. And
It looked weird because no one said anything when it originally happened. I said, "Are we going to talk about this or not?" And then they came back from break. The Fox crew did it and mentioned it, and then there were some people on Twitter that thought maybe he lost it in the lights. Either way,
and if that happens, I guess, yeah.
But if he had just taken another step and a half and stuck his arm out, the ball would have hit him in the hands.
And if that's his only mistake, that's fine. Yeah. But then
fumble flipped the game. I mean,
fumble. That's it. I mean, that's when it was like, oh my God, the Dolphins are going to. It really felt like no matter what the score was, when it got to 9-3, it was the Ravens would come back and win. This is not a big deal. But then once the fumble return TD happened, it was like, oh my God, the Dolphins might actually win this. And you're right, Brinson. The fumble absolutely flipped the game, and it was Sammy Watkins. I think Xavier Howard strip a man return it.
How about that?
Xavier Howard scooped it and scored.
Last week in the Dolphins-Texans game, Breech reminded me, there were 9 turnovers. And this game Thursday night, the Ravens alone had 8 punts, which is their worst during the Lamar Jackson era. Sam Cook might have been the player of the game.
So where do the Ravens from here? I mean, they're at 8.5 favorite going into Miami. Felt like it was going to be a free win. It was just a question of how many points do they win by. They're now at the Bears in 10 days.
That game's going to be fun because Justin Fields going to be playing with a little more confidence after dismantling the Steelers secondary in the second half, having a chance to win the game. They should have won that game. And the Ravens are going to be not reeling, but having some questions about just how good they are, I feel like.
And that doesn't feel like such a lock.
The Ravens have had their bye. It's the Browns who have their bye between the Ravens games.
And by the way, Khalil Mack may be back by then. Eddie Jackson may be back. Keem Hicks might be healthy. So
yeah, if you have a fully healthy Bears defense, they can do what the Dolphins did. Just come up with some crazy defensive game plan, do something similar, not exactly because the Ravens will start looking for that. But I mean, the Bears have enough defensive talent to, I don't know. It's just you look down the Ravens schedule, nothing is a gimme anymore. I mean, the rest of their schedule is brutal.
It is not great.
The Bears are the worst team they face. And the Bears are 3-6. Every other team.
No, don't agree. I don't disagree at all. I mean, Packers.
Every other team they face is
out of division. Packers, Rams down the stretch is really, really tough. And
so Brinson
but I'll just say this: you get the Browns twice, the Bengals once, and the Steelers twice. While it is brutal because that division is tough. If one team in that division gets really hot down the stretch, they can just speed out of there and take the lead. More likely is they beat each other up and it comes down to week 18 is what happens.
The Ravens have 8 games left, and 7 of those games are against teams that currently have a winning record.
Yep.
So the next 4 games, who has the better record coming out 4 games from now, the Dolphins or the Ravens?
I'm going to take the Ravens.
You're going to take the Ravens this 4-game stretch versus the Dolphins in their 4-game stretch?
I thought you were saying overall.
4 games, who was going to have a better record?
No, just a 4-game stretch.
So Bears at Bears, Browns at home,
at Steelers at Browns,
at Steelers at Browns. And
that versus at Jets.
That's tough.
No, it's not. You're taking the Dolphins.
I don't know if I'm taking the Dolphins. I think the Ravens probably go 3-1. I don't think it's a lock that
You think the Ravens go 3-1?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that game in Pittsburgh, they don't. That's going to be a game. You just never know. Like there was a time during late in the draft.
I mean, you're right. They split with the Browns. I don't think that's going to be a sweep.
I don't know if I feel like Justin Fields, if he gets hot, and that defense stinks. Like the Steelers defense is pretty good.
Sounds just like the Andy Dalton thing.
The Ravens, the Ravens defense is not good. I mean, that's just we saw that tonight. We've seen it most of the season. I just wonder if Justin Fields plays a little more confidence, so they get some of those guys back on defense for the Bears. If that might, especially it's in Chicago. I mean, they could end up, the Bears could lose that game 50-0, then it won't even matter. But I don't think it's a slam dunk. Like, what odds do you want, Brinson, to take I would imagine you want to take the Ravens with some plus money, right?
Plus money over the next 4 games, yeah, for sure.
Right. What is it?
Give me plus 150.
I mean that versus the Miami schedule.
Yeah. Next 4 games, who has a better? And if it's 2-2 and 2-2, it's a push.
Who you taking, Breech?
I'll take the Ravens for sure.
At plus 150.
I'm taking the Dolphins.
I think I'm taking the Dolphins too.
And I can't believe I just said that.
We've been wrong a lot on this podcast, so it doesn't matter really, but it's just,
But the best part is that one of us will be right because we're debating 2 sides.
Yeah. There you go.
That is correct, Breech.
Math.
So who would you pick right now to win the division, AFC North?
Cheese a pizza. You know what? I'm going to say the Browns, assuming they get healthy.
Are you only saying the Browns because you don't want to say the Steelers?
Well, let's be honest. The Steelers they're like I mentioned, they should have lost to Seattle. They should have lost to the Bears. They're not a good team. They just have been lucky in the ways that the Ravens have sort of been lucky too, but the Ravens are better. Not only being lucky, but a better football team, at least offensively.
Here is a fun fact for you based on that question, Ryan. The Browns have the second hardest remaining schedule in the NFL. The Bengals Bengals tied for the second hardest remaining schedule in the NFL. The Ravens have the 6th most difficult remaining schedule in the NFL, but that number's only going to go up because their easy game was the Dolphins and they lost it. And the Steelers have the 7th most difficult remaining schedule in the NFL.
I mean, it's because they're all playing each other.
Right. They're all in the same.
Well, I mean, no, they're all playing like the Packers and Rams. The Ravens still have to play. I mean, they're all playing teams that are good down the stretch. This isn't like they're out there getting to play the Jacksonville, and Houston every week.
Multiple people have the Chiefs. Multiple teams have the Chiefs. I mean, the Steelers have you're like, oh, they got the Lions, but it's Chargers, Bengals, Ravens, Vikings, Titans, Chiefs, Browns, Ravens. Golly.
Yeah, it's going to be. All right, here's another question. Whoever you want to win the division doesn't matter. What's the win total going to be for the winner in this division?
Ooh.
Is it going to be 10?
Might be 10.
You know what's funny is in my preseason prediction, I had a 3-way tie at 10-7, which seemed not plausible when the Ravens were 6-2 and probably going to win this game and going to 7-2. But now that we've got this backlog where the Steelers beat the Lions, we'll have 6-3. We don't know what the Browns and Patriots do. I feel like that's a coin toss game. But if they lose, you're at 5-5, and now it's a jumbled mess.
The other question is, how many teams in this division get a wild card berth?
1. I don't know.
So
I don't know if 10 wins is going to happen. I'm looking at this Ravens schedule. I mean, it could happen, but
schedules are tough.
It feels like it's 50-50 that they get or do they update the win totals throughout they do. Moving win totals?
Let me see if I can find them on. William Hill had them earlier.
Caesars.
Well, I mean, I think somebody's getting a 10 because, like you said, the Ravens have so many division games left, and somebody has to win that.
Yeah, but if they just sort of split those,
I can find it easier on my local site, so I'm going to give it to you. Steelers' current win total 8.5. Over is -141.
Yeah, it's a 5-win team. They're only going to win 3 to 4 more games according to Caesars. Or to
Eagles' current win total 9.5 is -200 to the under.
That's Debo's newsletter.
What's that?
That was Debo's newsletter that had him going over 9.
Right. And obviously the Ravens are not on this list, and I don't actually see the Browns either.
They're probably on the Bengals on there. They kicked them out of the league.
That's because they don't want to put a 12.5 over because they know the Bengals are going to hit it.
Oh, here, let's see. Caesars actually does have them up. So Browns over 9.5 -110.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that.
The Bengals under 9.5 minus 180, so that checks out as well. And it's lovely. These aren't in alphabetical order. I don't see the Steelers on here, but as I said, it was 8.5 juice to the over. That's interesting. Man, I mean, this is going to be a smash mouth finish here, isn't it?
And whoever wins is going to have like 4 players left to go into the playoffs. So they're going to beat each other up.
And division odds are not up right now because they're adjusting for the Ravens game.
Did any of you have the Ravens in your midseason updated Super Bowl pool?
I did not. I had the Chargers and the Rams because F you, Breech.
I stayed with my preseason pick.
I also stayed with my preseason, but Ryan, you actually switched yours, so you're actually making stuff up.
Oh, what did I switch? I had Bills and Packers.
Yeah, but who'd you have winning in the preseason?
Oh, did I get the pick wrong?
You switched your winner, and you copied me.
So I had the Bills winning at the beginning of the season. I switched to the Packers.
You did.
Oh,
because we picked the same Super Bowl, but the difference was we had different winners.
I'll switch it. I'm staying with the Bills. I didn't go back and look. That's why. That's the only reason I missed it.
Brinson was one of 3 people that took the Rams. Me and you were the only ones that took the Packers.
Yeah, you can have the
at midseason or preseason.
Midseason.
Yeah, I meant to take the Bills. That's on me. So I'm doing Bills for the record. So remember that.
Flora and Jared Dubin both took the Rams along with Brinson to win the Super Bowl.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now that was before they were getting Odell. You made that prediction before the Odell.
Yes, that's correct. I would actually have gone with a different team post Odell. Okay. So, do you want to give away a hat?
Yeah.
Does Brinson suck?
Let's end the podcast. No, I don't want to do that. Let's keep the podcast going. I'm putting in the final names right now.
Who's got a question? Someone other than M. Jones have a question? Anybody other than M. Jones have a question? Any question at all?
What is M. Jones asking that you don't want to talk about?
Stop letting them rent this headspace.
I'm not in a headspace. I'm just
rent free.
Rent free.
Rent free.
I'm just entering in the final couple names into this generator. So winner in about 60 seconds.
Love it.
I'm looking on Pick Watch where they have like 250 experts or something.
Where am I?
No one picked the Dolphins.
Oh, where am I ranked?
Not one person, not even like a Homer Dolphins website.
Why would you though? They didn't know if they're going to have.
I mean, usually out of that many people, there's one like crazy person who says, you know what, maybe they could pull off the upset.
We have several questions about the Patriots, the Dolphins, and Tom Brady. Let's throw those up and we'll talk about them while you figure out who gets the hat. Debo. Oh, I've got the winner. Oh, M. Jones, are you kidding me?
Oh boy.
I'm kidding. He didn't win. It's Nathan Zafudo is our winner of the Brinson Sucks hat.
Nice.
Go ahead and drop in the chat whether you want or Debo will get in touch with you or say whether you want the hat or the toboggan. May depend on what kind of weather you live in. Who is to say? Will Lamar still win MVP? Is there a question on there? No.
You can't win MVP with the Dolphins loss on your resume.
I mean, he could technically because it's still so wide open, but I feel like the fact that his egg came so much later than like there were a bunch of eggs in week 9 from different people and Lamar's came later. So I think it would take a pretty robust run down the stretch for Lamar to get involved in that MVP race. I still think Mahomes, I don't think he's going to win. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's a good bet to hit Mahomes at like 60-1 or 80-1, depending on where you can find it.
You're going to die on that hill.
Well,
I'm betting on Tom Brady.
Let's see what else we got here. Somebody asked, why did I decide to shower today? I had to do HQ. Usually I don't shower. Wear a hat. Hair's very clean. Thank you. Who do you like to win the AFC? I assume that means to actually advance out of the AFC to the Super Bowl and not become the number 1 seed, but feel free to give both.
Oh, I'm going with my Super Bowl pick. The Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
You know what? I was also going to say that, but I want to be different. So I'm going to say the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, I mean that I think that would be.
Titans! Get on the Titans bandwagon.
I don't know.
I'm rolling through Nashville with the bachelorette party and the Titans bandwagon.
You and Brinson both. That's how you guys made
right.
your money 2 years ago.
I'll tell you what. We're going to end the podcast right now, and I'll give my AFC pick after on the YouTube exclusive AFC pick. Which, whatever. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. For Wilson and Breech, I'm Brinson. See you guys later. So I'll take the Chargers to win the AFC.
Ooh.
Philip Rivers doesn't play anymore, right?
Of all the picks that we all just mentioned, whose has a 0% chance of happening? Brinson's.
Is 0% chance happening?
Yes, that's
Look
how
up
math
Steven
works.
knows projections. What do you think?
What?
Who'd you pick? You picked the Titans?
Yes.
Sure. Cool. Those are the hats.
Those beautiful hats.
People, I think, are a little bit disappointed, down that they didn't win, but only one can win tonight. We'll do this every post-game stream.
We got a box full of them.
We got a box. Look at the box.
Keep coming back.
Come back.
Yeah, we'll give
them
away
all
hats.
away at once. We can't do that. That doesn't make sense.
Right. We're not going to give away 10 hats in one stream. We have plenty of post-game shows. And the playoffs. We'll do live stream at the playoffs, give away these hats. We want millions of these hats out there. People walking around. My wife doesn't like it now all of a sudden. She's like, you do suck, but like I don't know if I like this.
Her last name's Brinson, so she has to live with it.
I'm waiting for the day that two people are walking down the street, each of them rocking the Brinson Sucks hats, and they just point at each other like the Spider-Man meme.
Two people run into each other both wearing Brinson Sucks hats. I mean, I'm waiting for that day too, Devo. Let's see. Over under 12.5 wins for the number 1 seed in the AFC.
Yeah, boy.
Are
the Titans going to win 13 games, Breech?
We need to win 6 more.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean that's a tough ask. Are the Chargers going to win
7-8 games? Rish.
I mean, the Titans do have the Texans twice, Jacksonville, and obviously Dolphins just upset the Ravens, but they also play the Dolphins. So they have, we were talking about how the Ravens have 7 of their final 8 games against teams with a winning record. The Titans play the Steelers and the Saints and the Patriots.
These AFC schedules are insane.
Yeah, they're not fun.
I mean,
the Titans have 8 games left, and only three of them are against teams with a winning record.
The Chargers have the Giants and the Texans remaining, but also and the Broncos at home. Broncos actually twice. Broncos looked better last week, but clearly might not be a great team. They have the Bengals, the Steelers, the Raiders, the Chiefs again, the Vikings this week. I mean, I can't see the Chargers winning. Oh no chance.
Oh no, do you regret your pick now?
No. I just don't think they're going to win. I don't think we're going to get 13 wins from I don't know. We're getting 13 wins from the number 1 seed in the AFC. That's a good over 12.5 is a good over under.
What about the NFC?
I'll tell you the team that's kind of interesting.
I'll take the over.
What team are you taking?
Oh, to win it all?
Yeah, no, to get over 12.5 in the NFC.
Green Bay, Arizona, or Tampa Bay.
Or the Cowboys.
Cowboys, I just saw on one sports book, the Cowboys are minus 5,000 to win the NFC East, and it's 15-1. You get the field. That's the only bet they're offering.
That is interesting.
So I think this is at least interesting to consider. The New England Patriots.
Yes.
Have
thinking it.
The Browns this weekend at home, which is they're favored by I think 3 points. Winnable. It got down to a pick, went back up to 3. Winnable game. And they're at the Falcons next Thursday. Winnable game.
Mm-hmm.
Titans at home 10 days later. Winnable game. At the Bills, won't be favored. Probably lose the game. At the Colts, after their bye, I believe, because it's 13 after the bye. Then Bills at home on December 26th, so the day after Christmas, that's Sunday. And then they close with the Jaguars at home and at the Dolphins. That is a very friendly schedule.
So that gets you to 13, is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just suggesting that the Patriots could, and I'm not saying it's going to happen.
They're getting to the playoffs. Say it.
No, I think they're definitely getting in the playoffs. I'm just suggesting that if they can split with the Bills and take down the Derrick Henry-less Titans at home, I mean, there's a path to.
There it is. There it is.
There it is. 1, 2,
Path to the Super Bowl?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wins. 12 wins for the Pats. A 12-win Pat season would be unbelievable.
Yeah, that would be.
And you think about the fact they're 5-4. 2 of their losses are to teams that we would say are 2 of the 3 best teams in the NFC, with the Buccaneers and Cowboys. One went to
They could have won both of those. Easily.
Could have won, exactly. So they're playing toe-to-toe with the best teams in the NFL. So they're probably, and they have a bunch of close losses, those 2, plus the 1-point loss to the Dolphins in week 1. I just feels like the Patriots, I feel like people are sleeping on them.
People are sleeping on the Patriots. They're not. I've said this a couple of, and apparently this is a thing in Boston sports radio, so I'm not trying to take claim for it, but there's a very 2001 vibe to this Patriots team.
Well, we've been saying that for weeks in terms of how they're handling the
run the
quarterback.
football. Mac Jones is a little clutch. Yeah. Defense is pretty good. Just thinking about the Patriots in that crowded AFC. They could take down Buffalo. Wouldn't be crazy.
Would not be crazy at all. They're only half game out. I think that is the crazy part.
Can someone like Denver or Indy climb into the playoffs as a result of just utter chaos in the AFC North?
Denver or who?
Indianapolis, or even your precious little Miami Dolphins.
I think it's. I don't know. It's
Indy's putting themselves so far behind the 8 ball because you already have 5 losses. You still have games against the Bills, the Buccaneers, the Patriots, the Cardinals, the Raiders. I mean, you don't have a lot of room.
Exactly.
You don't have a big margin for error. That's the problem if you're Indy.
There's one more question. We'll get out of here. I saw it was, can Tom Brady throw for 60 touchdown passes this year?
That would be awesome. What's his pace now? He's cooled off a little bit, I would imagine, right?
I was actually DMing Tom Fornelli while searching for it. Let's see. Tom Brady.
Tommy has 25.
And they've already had their bye. He actually leads the league in. Does he lead the league in passing touchdowns?
Yes.
So he needs to.
With his bye.
Needs to ramp it up, though.
Tom Brady, like 4-1 MVP might be the bet.
Well, Breech just said that's who he's taking. You're taking 60-1 guy who's not going to win it.
And Tommy Brady is on pace right now for 53.1 touchdowns. He will have to up his pace.
Wild.
Yeah, don't steal my MVP bet just because I stole your Super Bowl team.
No, that was your MVP pick, not your bet.
Yeah, it's my bet. I said I'm going to bet Brady.
Let's see you bet $5 on Tom Brady then.
Right now?
Yeah.
Done.
Doing it.
Let's see. Buccaneers, Skichu. The Bucks have the Panthers twice in the final 3 weeks of the season. I know that. They have oh my God, what a cakewalk. They have the Washington football team on the road this week coming off their bye.
Have you ever actually taken part in a cakewalk?
That's great. You stomp through cake and then.
I love cakewalks. So just because you said that, maybe I actually did one at a Halloween party or a little kid Halloween thing. The kids love cakewalks. I love.
Did you really do a cakewalk?
Yeah. They play the music.
Serious?
You walk around in a circle, and they stop the music, and then you land on it. Sometimes it's a number, sometimes it's a cake, and then they pick it out of a hat. And if you're on the number 8 and they pick out an 8, then you win a cake.
I can't tell if he's full of it or not.
Oh, but you don't walk on the cake. You walk around to win a cake.
He's lying.
No, you walk around in a circle, and there are numbers on the ground. And when the music stops, you have to stop on one of the numbers. And then they pick a number out of the hat. If you're standing on the number that gets picked out, you win a cake. That's a cakewalk.
So that's not easy. That's not as easy as the word suggests.
Exactly. That's why I asked.
I thought it was like you walking on cakes too.
Yeah, I thought you literally walked through a cake and then stomped around down the street to go get another cake.
Firewalkers?
No, cakewalks, despite popular misconception, cakewalks are rather difficult.
Yeah, that's cake is just roulette.
Look at this. We've had
it is roulette.
Why have all you people done these? What is going on?
So it's musical chairs with cakes involved. Is that what I'm hearing?
I mean, essentially, it is.
Why is it called why is an easy game called a cake?
Nothing.
That's not easy.
If the more numbers there are, the more difficult it is. Nothing should be as easy as a cakewalk because they're impossible. I went around 10 times and not win a cake, and my daughter went home depressed.
It's just roulette. with people trying to get cakes. What is
Yeah.
what a weird saying. I'm never saying cakewalk again. The Buccaneers do have a cakewalk. The next 4 games though: at Washington, Giants at home, at Colts, at Falcons. Now, of course, 3 of those 4 on the road. But my goodness, I mean, those are carvable defenses. They have the Bills and Saints at home after that, and then Panthers on the road, Jets on the road, Panthers at home. Tom Brady might throw for 60. I mean, we need to bet Tom Brady's winning the MVP. I'm betting Mahomes and Brady.
So cakewalks originate from the mid 1800s, according to Debo's Wikipedia link that he sends us.
Justin Case in the chat says he won 3 cakes in a cakewalk before.
Alternative names, Breech, which you might want to spread around so people don't get so excited. Walk around, chalk line walk. Was there chalk involved?
No, but I could see how there would be.
Cakewalk.
Because people will kill themselves to that cake, and all of a sudden you have to do the chalk body outline.
What a weird phrase. Cakewalk.
So weird.
That's a cakewalk.
Cakewalk sounds great if you get a cake.
What should it be called? Like, what's easy to do then? Because that cakewalk's supposed to be easy.
I mean, stealing candy from a baby is a good one because I've stolen candy from Halloween. I stole candy from our baby, and it was easy. It was easy.
Yeah.
So that's a good one. You sound like a butthole, but like
sound like a butthole. Or you are a butthole.
I'll just ask you, what does
what kind of candy are you eating?
What does that sound like, Breech?
Peanut butter cups.
I kept telling my son to grab. I was like, grab those Reese's Pieces. He's like, I don't want these. I'm like, yeah,
I
exactly.
can't believe people are still giving those away. All these kids with peanut allergies.
Oh man, all we got was Reese's peanut butter cups.
We got a lot too. I ate them all. Hey, trying to save my kid's life.
All right, we good? Get out of here. Go bet Tom Brady for MVP. It's a good bet. They have a schedule that is easier than eating cake
while walking.
That's while walking around. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for hitting that like button. If you're watching late, hit the like button as well. Of course, make sure to subscribe and hit the alert button because, we're giving away these Brinson Sucks hats in here. Appreciate all y'all. Talk to you on Sunday. Pick show in the